Hey guys, it's Todd. Welcome to another video. I know, look at that. 2 videos in like what? Less than a month? Consistency is key and it's something that I do not have. In this episode, we're on R34 again. This is months and months of compiled footage. We're trying to film everything that's important to getting the car to a point of driving. So in this video, you'll see me doing the exhaust, intercooler piping, clutch line, timing belt. Oh man, heaps of stuff. It was supposed to be 2 different videos, but it's now kind of, I've combined them. It's going to be a bit longer. It's going to be close to 40 minutes, possibly. But yeah, it's a bit longer, but a lot of content, a lot of stuff we're doing, and you get to see the car drive at the end, which is fantastic. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen it. I've posted it up, but this is going to be a more in-depth video of me getting it running and getting it there. This is a sneak peek that you're seeing right now of... I'm 2 videos ahead of y'all. This is the future right here with the body kit on and all that kind of stuff. That's going to be the next video. Next video is like body kit and like a few other things. But this video, bit of everything, bit of a drive at the end, which is very exciting. First time driving the car. Since owning it, since buying it in early 2020, I've never driven the car until very recently. Yeah, there is a spot where it kind of goes from me doing the exhaust and jumps really weirdly into me doing like the timing belt and stuff, and like I'm doing a clutch line and that, and it's really kind of janky. You'll see, I mention it, but it's, yeah, it's just a bit of everything. Sit around, enjoy. There's some good content in there. Enjoy the video. First things I want to get done before we drive this is they involve jacking the car up. So I've got to get the shifter back into here, which this isn't on, it's not sealed or anything like that, so I need to get the shifter on there. As you can see, I've put the dash in properly. I guess properly is whatever, bolted down. I've like mounted my little switch panel. So I'm going to jack the car up to do the shifter. I've got to jack the car up to do the diff. It's leaking out of the pinion, which is really disappointing. There was nothing wrong with it until like maybe a couple months ago where it just started to leak out of it from sitting. I'm guessing the seal got hard or something like that, and it's now decided to leak, so I've got to jack that up and check that out. I've got to put oil in the gearbox, I think. So I need to check the level of the gearbox, top it up if it needs it, and I need to attach the slave cylinder to the box and then the line for that to the master to get the actual clutch to work. So yeah, we'll be doing that, getting the car up in the air and doing those few little things underneath. Okay, so I've jacked it up, put it on jack stands front and back nice and even so I can check the gearbox oil properly because it needs to be level to check it, obviously. I'll get under here, I'll show you what's going on with this diff. As you can see, it is leaking. It has been leaking a fair bit, which is very disappointing. It's fresh oil, freshly sealed, freshly welded diff, and we can see it kind of dripping out of there. So it's probably that it's just gone hard, the seal in here, and that it's now just started to leak. And apparently there's some stuff you can get to put in it so that it softens it up and lets it seal again. So I don't know, I'll look into that, but for now I'll put some oil in it so we can just drive the thing and go from there. One thing I've just noticed that's kind of annoying is here's the handbrake cables running through here. They have like little mounts on them, and they usually mount to the, I'm guessing, fuel tank. But this doesn't have the freshest fuel tank in it, so there's nothing to mount to it, and it hits against the tail shaft, which, I don't know, I'm gonna have to sort something out with those. That's annoying. Okay, it was good that I checked the gearbox oil because it was empty. There was none in there. I must not have filled it when I installed the gearbox. So I've sealed the little cover for the shifter. So I'm just waiting for that to dry. And now at the moment I'm sorting out power steering because I'm like, I don't know, I can drive the car without power steering fine, but I may as well do it because it needs to be done. So I do have a cooler for this, but I don't know, I need to mount it and stuff. I'm just not going to run the power steering cooler. We'll see how we go. But yeah, for now, I've just got the return put on there like that. Put some fluid into this, and then I'll start the car, give it a bleed and see how it feels, see if there's any leaks or anything like that. Okay, this is a weird spot because I kind of do like not much, and then I just jump straight into randomly doing the intercooler piping. I was going to pay someone to do the intercooler piping and the exhaust, and they were going to charge me not an exuberant amount, the amount that sort of stuff would cost, but it's a lot of money for good quality stuff. And then I just randomly decided, not randomly, I was like, wait a minute, I can just do this myself. It's a lot more simple than I expected it to be. And then I just went and bought the material for it, and it cost me a fraction of the price of what it would have costed me to get someone else to do it, just do it myself. So that's where we're at. Now in the video, we're going to be intercooler piping, exhaust. I even talk about saying that you get to listen to it at the end, but you just don't. I just didn't film anything to actually listen to the car until obviously we drive at the end. Wait to the end. You'll get to see it. Okay, so first things first, intercooler piping. I was silly to think that I needed to pay someone to do this because I literally have this right angle coupler that goes from the turbo to a straight bit, and then this right angle coupler here, which goes from a 3-inch to 2.5-inch. And I literally just need to put a straight bit of piping here with maybe some bead rolls on it when I buy a bead roller. I don't need to pay anyone to do that. Same with this, literally. From here, I have that coupler, that joiner, to here. There will be a little bit of bend in this one. As you can see, it's kind of like needs to bend towards it. But again, it's one bend. It's 2 welds and then a bung welded in here for the temp sensor. So, I don't know. It was silly of me to think that I'd need to pay someone to do this when I can just do it myself. Maybe it won't have, like, you know, the pie cuts and, like, all the nice TIG welding. It's going to be MIG welded stainless steel, so it's not going to be the prettiest. But I'm just going to clean it up with a grinder or with a wire wheel or something like that. So, yeah, I'll set the tripod up and I'll get to measuring and cutting. Okay, I'll do the intake side first. I've got a little 45. I want to bend straight out of this. As soon as it comes out of there, I want to bend and then come straight up to there. I've got to trim this back a little bit, like, I think it's like 30 mil or so. So I just want to get a small amount. I've literally measured like 20 mil on this little straight bit to go on the end of here. So I'll weld that on there, and then that'll give me enough room to get a clamp onto there as soon as it comes out of that first coupler. Throw a couple of tacks on this and see if it's going to work out. Okay, I've tacked on that little bit. I've trimmed down this dude, and it kind of shoots in the right direction. So exactly what I want it to do. Just like that. Now it goes straight up towards the throttle body. Sweet, I'll go cut a piece here, and then tack it to there, and then that's done for that side. As you can see, straight bits on, points up to it perfectly. Done. I'll weld those out. This side is all but done. I need to put some bead rolls on it. Now let's have a look at these welds. Look, I am no expert. I'm not using the right tools, but hey, it's welded, it's sealed, it's whatever. It costs me nothing to do. So that's the best thing ever, is the price. So this side's done. Like I said, this is literally just a straight bit between there and there. That side's done. As you can see here, I've got a little dot. I'm going to drill a hole and put a bung in for air temp sensor. So I just need to drill a hole there and weld a bung in, and then that's all done. Put some bead rolls in it, put some clamps on it, and we're sweet. Next up is the exhaust. I've forgotten to film a little bit here, but as you can see, integral piping, all done, all sweet. Start to do the exhaust. I've done like this down pipe here that goes straight from the exhaust down. Got a little flexi on there and a flange. The reason I have the flange in here on the down pipe is because I don't want the flange underneath the car and to get like ground and stuff like that. The car's gonna be low. I don't want it to get damaged and then I have to replace a flange. So I'll put that there, and yeah, so I've got a little flexi there as well. It's gonna get beat up a bit, like being low and stuff, so I don't want to have any issues with the turbo manifold cracking or any studs breaking or anything like that, so I want a bit of give in the exhaust. Currently on the next bit of the exhaust from the down pipe under the car past the gearbox. I did weld it all together and tack it all up, and it didn't really meet my satisfaction, which is low. I have a low standard, but really it wasn't working too well, so I've kind of cut it all back off. And I'm just going to quickly tack back that to there, sit this on the jacks under the car in the right spot, and then see if we can tack the flange back to that and get a better setup than I had before. Alright, so that next bit is tacked in to the next part on the flange. Let me get under here for a second. So there's there, tacked there. Here's our little 45, a couple tacks there to a straight that goes back there and kind of dodges the floor and the tail shaft there. I'll pull that out and I'll weld that up. Here is where we're up to. Boop, here with the exhaust, kind of like where the tail shaft center bearing is. So yeah, so come through here. Now I've come too far up here. It's kind of like getting too close to this bit here. So I need to like cut back to here and then come off, boop, and then boop, and then down past the tail shaft in here, in this gap here. And then we'll turn after here and then go off down towards through like there to get past the diff. So yeah, I've got a little bit cut out now where I'm gonna add to here. So yeah, we'll cut off here and then beep. Yeah, cool. Okay, so we've got the next section on here. That's all tacked up and stuff, so it kind of bends it around that hump in the floor, past the tail shaft. And then we're doing the next section now, which we're just about to cut out an angle for it, to then come to under the diff. I wanted to show off my beautiful little jack system holding up the exhaust with bits of box and wood and stuff like that to put it in the right spot. It's been a bit harder to film it the way that I have been filming my other videos, where I've kind of been standing up the camera and like pointing at the things I'm doing. It's just hard because I'm getting up and down, in and out from the car and stuff like that. So this isn't going to be as detailed as some other videos. But hey, you're going to be here watching me fab this exhaust up, which is, you know, a big deal for me. First time doing a full proper one. It's a little harder than I expected. A little bit more tricky. Having a hoist would be way better. Just being able to like crawl under the car and like the perspectives get weird when you start lying on the ground looking up. So anyway, we'll get it done. It'll be fine. The thing's probably gonna get trashed anyway. We're up to this bit. I've kind of dicked that up a little bit after the subframe. It's not tacked on yet. Got the muffler there. That'll go on up to here, and the muffler will go there. But something I need to do before I start positioning the muffler is change this rear bar. I'm pretty sure the rear bar for the Origin kit makes it sit a bit lower. So I'm gonna whip this stock bar off and just kind of dummy up this rear bar to get on there and see, just to mock up this exhaust pretty much. Okay, so I've got the rebar kind of mocked up to the point of like this, you know, exhaust opening will be where it will be when the bar is properly bolted together. It's only a couple bolts, it's just kind of slapped on there for now. I've got our muffler on the jacked up to kind of where I want it. And then under here, I've ended up hard mounting the exhaust as just kind of a solution for now. I know that hard mounting isn't the best, but there is a flexi between the exhaust and the actual engine, so we should be okay when it comes to that. If there's a solution that comes up later, I will change it and fix it, but for now it's just hard mounted, flat the tune, and like just test driving and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we've got our, sorry it's so dark under here, but we've got muffler here, exhaust here, I've got this here that I'm going to weld to this bit here, and this has the V-band in it, so I can disconnect this rear section if I need to. It will also make just getting the exhaust on and off if I need to a lot easier, just having a few more brakes in it. So there'll be the downpipe, the mid-section, and the rear muffler section to break apart. So yeah, it's going to tack this onto here now, and then I'll be able to cut the end of this, and then do another little bend to the back of the muffler here, and then send that through. And this is all the straight I have left. I just didn't have enough, 3 meters of straight, and it only just made it. Well, it didn't, I need to buy more. I was like crawling around underneath the car, like doing all the bends and cuts and measuring to make sure I get it all right, and I forgot that I can just open the boot, and the exhaust is right here. So I've just made up a little pie cut for that. I guess it's not a pie cut, it's just like cut it out of a radius. To fill that, and then we are done. Literally don't have enough pipe to do this last little bit, so I'm gonna have to go get some pipe to finish that off. I've decided I'm just gonna hard mount this whole thing. I found some like rubber bushing exhaust mounts that come off like a Land Cruiser, and they're literally like 2 bolts on the top, 2 bolts on the bottom, and then like a rubber bit in the middle. And I'm just gonna use them to hold the exhaust on, because like I hate the hangers. I hate having to hang the exhaust. It's just annoying. So I'm gonna get some of those and then go from hard mounting to semi-hard mount, where it's like the actual rubber bush mounted like that. So I'm just gonna do like a little bracket from it down there to there with a bolt in it, just to hold this back part of the exhaust up and stuff like that. And then we're sorted. We can actually start it and have a little bit of a listen. Hell yeah. All right. Okay, we are going to get this car driving. First things first, found the fuel flap, not that it matters. Bolted that on, that's fun. I need to do clutch line. I've got a clutch master in this, just here, brand new one. And I need to do line and slave. And I know I have this, I knew I had this inside. I found it in a random box that's a brand new slave for an RB30. I thought this came with a soft line that like comes out of here to the hard line and the pin, but it doesn't, which I find annoying. I thought it had it in there. I think I might have some line around. So I'm gonna go rummaging through some boxes and see if I can find the stuff that we need for this. Okay, I found this. All right, which is not the right slave. As you can see, it's like the 2 bolts on this. I think this is for like a Z32, or it's for like a push style big box, which actually makes sense. It would be for like a push style big box out of a Z32, like R34 whatever, it's the bigger box, so this is the slate for that. But I found this, which has the soft line on it, and it has the pin in it, which I'm assuming, I can only assume, will work with our new one. So yeah, how good? Look at that. I knew I had something in here. I knew I had the soft line. I'm gonna do some testing to make sure it all, you know, works together. And look at that. Perfect. Literally the pin fits in there, fits in the boot. The soft line works with it. This will work. Hell yeah. That's made a small headache when I realized I didn't have the soft line and the pin. But now I do, so it doesn't matter. We're all good. All right, I'm gonna get under the car. I'm gonna put these dudes on and see what we can do. This is the, like the hard line that goes for these. I don't know, it's kind of weird. R31s just go straight from hard line into a, like, little soft line that goes into the clutch sleeve. But this has got this, like, big bendy thingy on it. Don't know. I'm just gonna put it on there. I know it's for an R34. Get my hat off. It's not sunny over here. That's fun. I mean, this like lines up with that perfectly. That literally just screws into that like absolutely perfectly, which makes me, you know, not question this as much, I suppose. I have another hard line that goes from the mast down, but it's really long, and it didn't really seem to suit this. I have this hard line that's like, looks like it's for a clutch, but I think it's bent. Because it kind of faces the wrong direction, kind of. I don't know, I'm gonna have a fiddle with this. It's gonna be hard to film. So I'm not gonna bang. Okay, it's a couple days later, and I've finished the clutch line. I ended up having to change a fitting on it, because it was kind of leaking out of where it was going into the master here. It all kind of fitted up fine, bled fine. It actually gravity bled. I actually didn't need anyone to help me bleed it, which was pretty fun and easy. So that was done. Since then, I had to do my Welsh plugs in this side, because one of them was really rusty and bad, so I did a few of them. It was very difficult. There's not a lot of room down there, and I didn't want to take the manifold off because that was very annoying last time. To take like this engine mount off and all that kind of stuff. It ended up being a bit of a shit time. I ended up filming none of it, which is fun, but continuing on just getting this thing so I can drive it. So we have a shifter. We have gearbox oil. Gearbox is all sealed, ready to go, so that's done. Next bit I want to do, I'm thinking I'll do the timing belt, and the only reason I'm doing the timing belt is because the bearing, I'm not going to be able to see it from here, but the bearing, like the tensioner bearing, clicks. It goes click, 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 click. I think it just sat for a little bit long and it seized up, and now it's clicking. So I want to fix that because I have a spare one. I just happen to have a timing belt kit for an RB30. I will replace the water pump at the same time because I just should. I think it's pretty rusty in there, but we'll pull it all apart next and go from there. I'll try and do a bit of a how to do this with this video as I go, because it can be handy if someone hasn't done a timing belt before on an RB30. This can apply to any car with an RB30 really. First thing you want to do, radiator, and if you have an intercooler, pull it off, but having everything at the front gone will make your life a lot easier to access the front of the engine. This is a lot simpler than a lot of cars, and I even already have the cover off, so there's a couple of steps that I won't be doing, but you'll get the gist of it, I suppose. Ah! Just taking off like alternator belt, power steering belt, and the alternator belt off. Taking the little pulley off that as well. I'll get this lower cover off. The upper cover comes off as well. It's just 4 8mm bolts, and that'll just come off. You will have like your wires from your stock harness and these like into the top of it, so you're just going to pull all them apart. From what I can remember, it's probably easy just to pull your wiring ring off off your dizzy and stuff like that. It's very simple to get to this spot here. Actually, before I pull this lower timing case off, it has the mark for top dead center, so I'm just going to turn my crank until I get it to top dead center, because we want it to be top dead center to pull the timing belt off. 27mm bolts. These crank pulley kits that you get from like Super Cheap and stuff don't actually have the correct bolts to work with an RB. Don't use a claw on the RB balances. That's how you crack them. I've seen it happen so many times, and you get so many RBs that have a crack. This one has it as well. It's literally a little chip taken out of the face of it from people trying to use a claw on them. Use the ones that have the bolt, buy the proper bolts for it. I'm trying to remember how I did it last time. Maybe that's like an RB20 balancer or something that I did. I need to get longer bolts. These are like this much too short, so I need to get longer bolts to be able to pull this crank pulley off. In the meantime, I'm going to pull the skirt. What am I doing? Water pump. I'm going to pull the water pump off. That's what it's called. I'll show you why there's actually a really good reason that I actually pulled this apart and did this, because there's something I have found that needs to be addressed. Starting to realise how much I do not remember doing a timing belt on one of these. Just as I say that, I realise I probably haven't done a timing belt on one of these before. Oh well, we're both learning today. Great. It's about it, great. I'm going to pull the balancer off to get that tensioner off, to get that bolt off. Is that how you have to do it to get these water pumps off with RB30s? I don't remember this. I swear I've done a water pump before without having to touch the balancer, right? Chat? Chat? Is my wife leaving me, chat? Am I cooked? Bunnings run it is, I suppose. Okay, so I was going through my bolt box, and I had a little bolt that's like M6 long. And this is just an M6 that goes into the crank pulley. I found this really long one. And I was like, oh my god, that's so big. And I was like, wait a minute, it's got a really big head on it. Like, it's got a 12mm head, which usually M6, as a lot of people would know, is a 10mm bolt. And I was like, that looks really familiar. Turns out, it's the bolt out of the adjuster on the alternator. And that's gonna work. Watch this. This is gonna work. That's what you get when you pull apart a bunch of RBs. Like, more RBs than you can even think of. Oh man, that's stiff. Oh, that's stiff. Okay, I got these big ass washers. That'll help. Okay, they're done up now, which means I can do this. All right, let's pull this damn bearing off. Bearing? Balancer. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Yes, good. So yeah, don't leave the crank bolt on. I left the crank bolt in, but it didn't do its job properly, which maybe that's not what it's supposed to do. This literally pushes into the face of the actual crank itself, and then it stops it from spinning and doing back up. So, here we go. Well, the trusty Super Sheep Auto crank puller does its job again. This it doesn't have the correct bolt. I don't know why it doesn't have M6. Like, why would it not have M6 bolts? Which I feel like M6 is such a common size, but it just doesn't have M6. Just fucking, it's wild to me. Makes me feel like, you know, obviously, the Super Sheep Auto just buy that stuff from like some random company in China that's just like, oh, there's all these threads, and then they don't think about it, and they just sell it for cheap, and it just doesn't have the right bolts for it. I don't know, that's stupid. Unless it's Australian, and they have it for Australian make of cars that have a different M's, like that size. I don't know. I'm ranting at this point. Give me that keyway. Give me that keyway. And take it off so I can lose it. No, I'm gonna leave it in there, actually. Alright, I'll show you the marks on this. So here's our little crank. There's the white mark, and it's actually got a dot inbuilt into this cog, and then this little mark here. So they line up for top dead. And then at the top here, we've got that mark there for top dead, which I'm pretty sure that just points to the top of the engine. Like, that's just pointing at the top of the engine. I think it has a mark anywhere for that to line up with, not that I can see. So, kind of just points to the top. But what I'll do is, like I said, I'll mark this tooth on the belt, mark that tooth on that belt, and like that's gonna have to be the same, you know, amount between there and there. I can then line that up with the new belt, and then we'll know. So, cool. I'll show you this in here as to why this is a good idea to pull this off. See that behind there? That's a Welsh plug. It is green. It is so rusty back there. Let's see if I can get it to focus. It is so rusty. I'm so glad I pulled this all apart because I can replace that Welsh plug. Because if that fails, again, that's just annoying to have to change and fix. At a track day or something like that, it could cause, you know, head gasket issues, all that kind of stuff. So I'm glad that we did this and I found how badly corroded that was so that we can replace it. So cool, I'll get this little dude off here, then we can pull this guy off and go from there. Okay, I've marked the belt with a little white mark, you can probably see it there, top and bottom. I'll undo our little balancer, and then we can pull this old belt off. There's like a spring behind this that holds it with tension. Yeah, you just get a little screwdriver and you can pop it off. See, it was a good idea that I marked it because it's jumped a tooth down here just from me pulling that off. So yeah, make sure you mark your belts. Like that literally just jumped a tooth at the top as well. Like you got to be careful to just rely on remembering or leaving it and checking it later while it's got tension. Mark it in some fashion, you know? All right, I can pop this last bolt out of this water pump now. We're about to reveal some awfulness here. I think it's not going to look the best, that's for sure. Ooh. Ah! Pretty glad I decided to pull this off and change it because it's probably fine. Like, it doesn't feel like the bearing's fucked or anything like that, but it's got a lot of corrosion in there from it just sitting around. So I'm glad that we're here doing this. Yeah, you can see like there's like a water line here. We'll clean all this up, get it all nice. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, okay. No, yeah, it's good that we did this. It's good that we did this. We will give the whole system a flush once we get it all back together. I'll get like some proper radiator flush for it. But yeah, this is real corrody, so I'm gonna replace that. Alright, I'm going to pop this Welsh plug out. It's not as bad as what I thought it was. It's just like a little bit of like green corrosion, but I've got all the replacement Welsh plugs for it anyway, so I'm gonna bang it out. That's the cleanest one I've gotten out, actually. That was pretty cool. That was very satisfying. Oh, wait, what? What the fuck? What is this? It's like blocked. It's like chonked up.
What is?
The like behind the
Welsh plug.
The Welsh plug. Look at this. Like I'm sure that Welsh plug's supposed to be like a channel of like where the water goes behind. What the hell? What's
The gunge is just a crud that's gotten behind the Welsh plug over time.
There's a little hole there. I looked at it on the outside just then. I was like, oh, it's not that bad. Maybe I'll just leave it. It is. It is that bad. It's good I didn't leave it. There's a hole there. Yeah, I see what's going on now. There should be a hole at the top here as well. So many heating issues could have been caused by just that. Alright, cleaned it all up. Got all that crud out. It's like, it goes up and back here as a hole, and it was completely clogged full of crap. I am so glad that I've done this, because I'm glad that I've cleared that out, because that could have caused many an issue. How good. There we go. Cool. All done. Well, she plug replace. It's a couple days later. Turns out I already have a brand new, where is it? Here it is. Water pump. Look at that. I didn't even know. I just was looking through the shed and I found it. Brand new water pump. I was gonna order one. So I'm gonna install that, which means we can put the time belt on, which means we can start the car. Again, which is just one step closer to driving, which is gonna be damn fun. All right, this is the timing belt that was on the car, and as you saw, I marked like where my markings were on like the crank and on the cam, and then I like got the new one to, you know, put the markings and line them up, but it has these little lines on it, and they are literally in the exact spot where I marked. This one doesn't have lines on it, so I don't know if that's like OEM or a brand that just has no markings on it, but this one does. It's a Daco OEM replacement one. And yeah, it's literally got the markings on there, which is sick. So I've like got on there with no tension or anything like that, but like, there you go. There's our little mark on the cam. Lines up with that line there. And then you can see the white mark on the crank. There we go. Engine timed up, I guess. Put a tensioner on it, we're done. But of course, before we do that, I need to put the water pump. I need to remember all these bolts go. I'm stupid, I should be putting like WD-40 on these. They're all fucking rusty and shit. Gotta do that, gonna get 10 mil, do that top one up. And then yeah, that's all done. Water pump on. All right, we'll get the timing belt on. So I'm not sure how this spring works. All right, I think I've kind of worked this out. There's like this little arm, this like arm off this spring, and you've got to like spin it all the way around the back here. And then there's a bolt just here behind the belt that you have to flick it onto the other side of, and then it'll hold tension this way on the belt. You'll kind of watch it turn. See how it's like turning towards the belt now? But you gotta like slip this out a little bit to do it. Sweet, so now that's got tension on the belt. Timing belt on. It's a beautiful thing. Put the crank pulley back on. Always remember your belt guide. We don't want it getting chewed up or falling off or whatever. Oh, I'm stupid. You gotta put the case on before you put this on. God damn it. Dude, it's gonna come off. I'm gonna have to get the fucking tension onto this again. No! God damn it! Alright, back to what we were doing. Toit. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, you fucker. I'm just gonna crank it over with no power to it or anything, just so I can get it to spin and I can watch my handiwork with the timing belt. Yeah, it's like pushed back on the cam cog for some reason. I don't know why, so I just want to crank it over and just see how it spins, you know? Give it a hit. It's like slipping back. Dude, if I have to pull this all apart again, I'm gonna be really upset. Something metallic was just making a noise then. I was trying to work out like what was rubbing, but it wasn't the harmonic balancer. It was the tensioner, and it was hitting right here. That's where it was rubbing. The tension is not straight, and I think that's what's causing this to push off. Okay, it's been like a month or so since that last clip of me doing the timing belt. We are back at it again today. I really want to drive it today. I put the timing belt together wrong. In that last video, I messed up with the tensioner, and what it caused it to do was it made the tensioner sit that crooked like this, and it then made the belt push off the back of this cam gear. And I realized I just went the wrong way with the tensioner. I was tensioning from the top instead of tensioning from the bottom, which if you were doing it, you would kind of understand how that works. But yeah, it was just tensioning wrong, and it made it sit funny and not work. So, well, it worked, but it just made the belt sit wrong. So I've done that, I fixed it all up. The car is like, I've bled the coolant. By bled the coolant, I mean I just put water in it, but bled the cooling system. The engine's like ready to run. I've just got to like pull a bunch of shit out of the engine bay so it doesn't rattle around. I've got to bleed the brakes, and I've got to make a bracket for the handbrake cables. So I'm gonna jack the back up, get it in the air, and I'll show you what we're gonna do with the handbrake cables. Then we're gonna bleed the brakes, bolt the seat in, and we're pretty much ready to go. So let's do it. So these handbrake cables like sag down and hit on the tail shaft. So I've got to like do something to make it not do that. What's that? Cable tie it up, you say? Well, okay. So I decided to do the responsible thing, do it right. I put 2 cable ties on it. Yeah, that'll do for now. I will eventually make a bracket for it, but I'm just literally driving it up and down the road. So yeah, next is I guess I'll put my seat in. I've bolted the seat in, so that's all bolted in nicely. Clean the car out, got everything out of it that doesn't need to be in there. I've bolted the steering wheel in, which is fun. And then I guess it's just bleed the brakes, and we can literally drive this thing. I am very, very keen, as I've probably said like 30 times. I'm warming the car up, brakes are bled, everything's done. There's air in the tires. I did a heap of little things, but yeah, car's ready to drive. I'm just warming it up, and yeah, we'll take it for a little cruise. I need to wind my window down.
Oh no, you block of wood.
It lives at the bottom of the door.
I'll tell you what, it's very shit right there.
It's really loud in the car.
Okay, right down fully. Oh bro, this scrubbing's so bad. Okay, stop. Okay, full left, down. You're gonna cook this getting out the driveway.
Huh?
Phase 2.
Lucky button clutches. You good?
I'm just checking everything. I forgot to put a bolt in one of the engine mounts.
Hey, you're fuck Todd. That was a weird noise.
It's making so many different noises.
So that last one was weird.
It was a weird, I don't know.
When you went up around the corner?
Yeah, I don't know what it was coming from. It did up there as well. That one. But I mean, there's no smoke. There's no fire. You know what I mean?
No intake.
There's no intake. There's no intake. Like, I hope it's just like the guards rubbing or something, but it sounded like it was underneath the back of the car.
What's the plan now? Are you gonna go again, or are you just gonna put it away?
Well, I'm kind of worried about that noise, so I kind of just want to like, don't know, it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, call it a day.
Yep. Here we are at the end of the video. Thank you for sticking around. We got to drive it. We did a whole bunch of stuff. I'm sorry if it was long. We got to drive the car. That's all that matters. The next episode, we will be doing body kit. We will be doing a few other random things, and then we'll just be driving it again. I'm kind of floundering on what to do with this car now. I'm doing the small stuff like making a second bracket for the power steering pump and stuff like that. Like, it's just little things that I'm getting done, which is good. It's things I need to get done, but I've just put off because they're not important and they're not essential to getting the car running. So we're getting there. Next video, we'll have some fun stuff. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for being patient. If you've watched to the end here, congratulations. Sneak peek. There's going to be some fresh content with a new car. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You'll have to wait. I guarantee not many people watch to the end of this video, but the ones that do get to know that a new car is coming and that there will be lots of content, and there will be a new series on TikTok. There'll be a new series on YouTube. I'm very, very excited. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. I don't care. If you're here watching me, I love you. Whatever. See ya.